Chico and the Man, a reflection on an iconic show. Chico and the Man, an iconic show from the 1970s, not only broke new ground on television but also harbored a fascinating ensemble off-screen. Bet you didn't know, for instance, that the craft services team on set had a member who'd later become part of the Cheaper by the Dozen cast. That's a jump from serving snacks to sharing scenes with Steve Martin. And boy, the crew on Chico and the Man could have taught today's stars a thing or two about frugality. Much like the cunning characters in Charlie Wilson's War cast, they were known for their ability to squeeze a dollar out of a dime when it came to the production budget. The television series, Chico and the Man, is one that tugs at the chords of nostalgia and echoes the tragic ballad of its bright star long extinguished. It's a tale not merely of comedy or ethnic diversity in the choppy seas of 70s television, but of heartbreakingly stark human truths. To revisit the story of Chico and the Man is to understand a fragment of an era defined by the rub of cultures, the laughter that bridges gaps, and the sorrow that creeps behind the curtains. In the floodlights of Hollywood, during the disco-drenched years, Chico and the Man emerged not only as an entertaining sitcom, but as a cultural phenomenon. Let's splash right into the pool of nostalgia. We're talking about a show that brewed the perfect storm of humor and heart, all served in the modest setting of a run-down garage in East Los Angeles. The show straddled socio-cultural divides with the grace of a tightrope walker, bringing issues of ethnicity and integration right into living rooms without missing a beat. Its rise mirrored shifting American demographics, carving a niche that few had dared to attempt. Chico and the Man became the rhythm that folks from all walks of life tapped their feet to. No joke. Let's not kid ourselves, the chemistry. It was dynamite. Just when TV needed some new steps, Chico salsaed into the lineup with the gyration of fresh storytelling. Jack Albertson's Ed Brown, with his I've Seen It All, Skoll, and Freddie Prinze's Chico, the irrefutable charm generator, spun a web that viewers got willingly ensnared in. What Jack Albertson and Freddie Prinze rustled up was nothing short of alchemy. Albertson, a grizzled vet, was the scotch to Prinze's soda. His Ed Brown was a tough cookie, but warmth lingered just beneath that crust. And Prinze, a trailblazer, his Chico was the ladle that stirred hope into the melting pot of America. Off-screen, the story wove its complexity. Their bond bellied a tale of mentorship, akin to the on-screen wizardry they easily conjured. Yet beneath the studio lights hid shadows, and Prinze fought demons that Albertson couldn't ward off. Guest stars. Buck Owens brought his country twang to the urban tale, a crossover that was nothing short of a fiesta for the ears. His appearance was as smooth as a whiskey glide on a Saturday night, adding twine to the cultural tapestry. Chico and the Man was knitting this show was gutsy enough to graze more than just the funny bone. Amidst the vehicle repairs and laughter, Chico and the Man danced a fine line, unabashed in portraying the richness of ethnic diversity. It told a story of togetherness in a fractured world, and man, it was bold. The story takes a solemn turn as we recall Freddie Prinze, a comet that streaked gloriously across our skies before plummeting into darkness. His light extinguished at the tender age of 22, a tragedy that sent ripples through the bones of the show. Prinze's zest both on and off screen was the lifeblood of Chico. His departure left an echo in the canned laughter, a haunting reminder of what once was. The aftermath shook the pillars of the set. Cast and crew grappled with the tangible absence of their sunbeam, and the audience mourned the loss of a friend. Prinze's passing wasn't just a headline. It morphed into a sobering canvas reflecting the true price of fame. Post-tragedy, the show was like a guitar with snapped strings, out of tune and painfully evident. Efforts to rekindle the spark fell short as the spark itself had waned. The introduction of new characters was akin to patching holes in a sail with sticky tape. The sturdy winds of public adulation had become too much to bear. The pulse of Chico and the Man beats faint, but steady in the collective memory of a time gone by. Though attempts to package the series for modern consumption, like that minor DVD release in 2005, fizzled out like a damp squib, the impression it left is indelible. Modern reiterations peek through, like secret handshakes acknowledging the past. References pop like firecrackers in dialogue or attire, a subtle nod to Chico's enduring swagger. The show is encased in the amber of TV history, cherished, if from afar. The legacy of Chico and the Man is not just in its wit, or its willingness to tread brave terrain. It lies, too, in the fresh pages it contributed to the conversation on mental health, a dialogue that Hollywood grapples with even now. Prinze's death, as cruel as it was, cracked open the dialogue on the pressures that suffocate those in the limelight. It narrated an unwritten chapter of the human cost of entertainment, a discourse we're still expanding and learning from. There it lies, the bittersweet symphony of Chico and the Man, a blend of resonant humor and rending heartache. Its tendrils wrap around our understanding of the ebbs of fortune and the fragility found between lines of script. This show was a torchbearer, illuminating a path for diverse narratives and the commingling of cultural resonance in a TV landscape that often looked monocultural. As today's entertainers grapple with their realities, let them look to Chico's smile and Ed's gruff tenderness. Let them know that the show's spirit endures, a reminder of the power of television to not only entertain, but to connect and, ultimately, to memorialize the echo of its own laughter.